Trading session's almost over and stocks are trying to find some bid. It's small, it's meager, but KG's telling us it might be something. Phil Strebel joins us, Chief Market Strategist at Blue Line Futures. Phil, this is a rough Friday.
It's been very tough. I mean, if you look at that fear gauge, Oliver, one of my partners, he was saying, can it go negative on the, on
the CNN fear panic or whatever?
So, yeah, I mean, it's tough. I looked at the S&P 500 on a weekly chart, and it looks like, 48.75. There's a channel that comes up there. So there's no telling how low this is going to go. But I do think if you're the administration, you got to do some damage control, and you got to do it over the weekend here and store some kind of faith in this market here, because the market is just unable to catch a bid. And we saw that retaliation by China this morning. It just really pulled the rug on the market. And that's what we were afraid of, is what's the retaliation factor and when will it all stop?
A few of the kind of weird kinks in the market logic today to me include gold down a sizable amount and Bitcoin up, which has been quite firm. Kinks in the sense, not that there isn't good price action justification behind it, but gold, let's start there. Well, I mean, down as it seems VIX is firing up.
Yeah, gold was a bit overextended on the charts coming into this week, and it was natural that it should have some kind of pullback.
Fair.
It really broke out over, an upper boundary to the upside. But we think that, gold futures, if you get closer to that 3,000 level, I think that we'll probably see some support in there. And also, it was up 20%. So, I mean, might as well not take some of that off the table and raise a bit of cash.
I mean, that makes sense. It makes sense. It's been on an incredible run. The question is, how much do we read into it? Like, should we be watching coins this weekend to see if they get a little bit of life? If people are going, I hedged my equity, I sold my gold, maybe I take a little dabble into a risk asset.
Perhaps companies are buying Bitcoin in order to avoid these tariffs and things like that. That's how they're going to, they're going to do their payment system going forward rather than
I don't know.
To the tariffs.
Does it work like? Is that? I don't know how it works.
I don't know. It was just mere speculation at my point, but there's people looking at that's an asset that's been beaten down pretty hard. It showed some stability in this lower area here. Yes, it can go into the 70,000, but these particular asset classes that go up on days like today are the ones that really stand out. And, I think that bonds, 10-year note, Japanese yen was stronger. It was until Powell really came out, was quite hawkish when the dollar turned around. I think that also added some of the acceleration lower on the gold market. But gold actually just jumped a bit here on the discussion. But yeah, Bitcoin really interesting at these levels here. It would be very tough for me to go and start allocating towards Bitcoin, especially with such a risk off in the equity markets.
Yeah, that's, generally the way it works. But you know me, I'm a crypto cynic, and I've been impressed. It's been yellow or green on my radar versus stocks, red or yellow. So maybe one green in there. It's not bad. It looks pretty decent.
It's not. 88, 92, those are some big levels there. If it broke above 96, I think that everyone would jump in thinking that it's going to go back through 100, and then, you'd go on into your next logical resistance points up above there, and then who knows, There's a lot of discussion about the administration and some of the, some of the family members working on really trying to get Bitcoin up and going or get some kind of stable coin and things like that.
You think they're still thinking about that? Maybe there's a surprise there potentially?
Yeah, a lot of these things, it's about one big narrative to the next, and unfortunately, It's the tariffs and the toll that it's taken on the markets right now. But these markets could start to turn a corner. It's like, how's OPEC going to digest, a $10 sell-off in the oil markets, or whatever it's been just recently. They've got to come out. They probably got to rethink about their production and things like that. So, there's a lot of moving parts as to what this kind of volatility brings to investors and brings to the producers.
Okay. I like the thoughts. I think they add up. I think there probably is still kind of a presidential premium lingering somewhere in the world of crypto, because why not, basically? Non-zero chance. And that's the kind of the world. So Tesla, too, had been getting some of that outperformance as well. It got really, really jacked up today, but it had been holding in a range, kind of like Bitcoin was too. So I think that might speak to maybe a little presidential premium in there in the coins.
I think I saw something about GameStop being up like 9%. That's new,
Oh,
like this same day.
Newsmax,
Dude, there's
right?
another one.
That was another
So,
winner.
yes, I mean, people are looking to put their money anywhere where they could speculate, and I think that, it's a herd mentality. They're all in, they're all out, and now they're looking for a new home.
Okay. What about the big move in base metals? Mike Purvis at the top of the show was saying he likes that trade, basically, kind of metals of any form. Silver and copper just annihilated today.
Below $30 on silver, I think, is like long-term value. I think that silver will have its day. But if you look, there's a triple bottom on silver. Back in December, we bounced off about 29.25. This is another retest here. We just had a triple top up at around $35. So that really defines your edges there. Copper futures, I think, way overextended to the downside. I mean, just if you go back to forget everything that's going on and you go back to like a rebuilding of Ukraine and things like that, I think that some more normalcy between U.S.-China relations here, if they can try and come to some agreements, I think that's going to be one of your better performing commodities. And if copper starts to go, the equity markets go, copper goes, and then silver will follow.
Okay. All right. Silver, man, hey, what a nasty fake out. If you were trying to trade that based on gold, I might know a guy that maybe didn't think it was so cyclical and still kind of had more precious metal. I think that ship has sailed, basically. Silver's mostly cyclical, it looks like.
That's the problem that I have with a lot of clients is that they look at it as a precious metal, but you look at central banks, they don't buy and store silver the same way they do in the gold market. 54% industrial metal. So you got to pay attention to China. You got to pay attention in the economic cycle we're in and the demand side of things.
I think consumers were, go to the jewelry store, can't get gold, we'll take silver, but there's no second place to gold as an asset. So
you got to go with steel and a Rolex.
There you go. Nice. Hey, ship me one of those, Phil. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here.
Take care, bud.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good man. Phil Strebel, Chief Market Strategist at Blue Line Futures.